Stuff! Yo!
Got you! How much did you pay for it?
All in £100. Layers of bottle wrap on it.
It'll do the job though, won't it?
Hopefully.
The whole point is you're doing this car on a budget.
This is true, yeah. Hey guys, and welcome back to another video where today we are going to be installing a front mount intercooler on a Mark 4 Golf. So that side's clean. I'll just show you this side. I won't show you the other side. So what exactly is a front mount intercooler and why do you need one? So to cool the air that's come out the turbo, there needs to be an intercooler, and on this car there is the standard side mounted intercooler which sits behind this grille. You should be able to see it right in there. So this small intercooler does enough cooling for 150 brake horsepower, but when you're going for...
Do that after.
Alright. When you're going for more power, I would say around 200 plus, you need better cooling. You need a front mount intercooler. Or you can do what some people do and get two side mounted ones, but it looks cooler when you've got a massive bar going over the top for a front mounted intercooler. So that's why in today's video we are going to be installing this second hand intercooler. You got anything to say, Duff? The turbo's just sticking out of the top with nothing there to feed it into the intake manifold. All this piping down here is from the standard intercooler. It came out of the turbo, went this way, it went down underneath, into the intercooler, out of the intercooler, and into here. So the easiest way is to just get a pipe that goes out the top of that, all the way around the front, down into the intercooler, and then link it up to the piping that's on this side. Enough chatting, I think we should just get on with it. Are you ready? Is Duffy ready? Duffy, are you ready? You're not ready.
3 days later.
So that's what I've already cut off. So that's now off. So a nice intercooler can sit there. That's going to be yeah, that one's going to be further back. Oh, zoom in on that, get some close-ups. Oh, yeah. Lined up. I think it is, you know. We've reached the point where the intercooler is now mounted up. It's very loose. Nathan has joined me, by the way.
Wagwan.
He wasn't here at the start, but he decided to turn up. Joke, sarcasm. Nah, he's helped. He's helped make it slightly wonky though, so... Nah, I don't give a fuck. Well, I'll eventually make brackets at the bottom so it doesn't do this. We'll have to cut it. It's not going to fit. It will fit. It won't. This side is nowhere near on. We have come to the conclusion that we're going to have to move the intercooler up. A, it's wonky and it looks shit. It looks terrible. It's embarrassing actually. And B, the bumper doesn't even fit on. Look at it. Actually, first look at the gaps that's here and up here. And you can see down here that it's... So we would either have to trim... We'd either have to trim the bumper and have it sticking out the front, or we cut more of the crash bar, which I want to do that because at the moment it's wonky, so we'd be cutting it and it would stick even further out and it's over to the right. If we cut the crash bar on the bottom so that we bolt it to the top and the intercooler sits in the bottom, I think that would be slightly better. And then we can re-drill the holes from the top. So we cut out the bottom of the crash bar, took this whole plate out, which meant that we could slide the intercooler up and in, and then we bolted it to the top. And then we trimmed off the plastic bit here. I don't even know what that was for, but that's all been trimmed off. And it's now sitting nicely in there. There's gaps, so I don't know, it looks like half the intercooler is being covered, but air will still hopefully get in from there, so it should be alright. For the power that we're going for, shouldn't be too bad. And yeah, I need to say thanks to Georgette for helping me out. She's a lot more experienced than me doing this type of stuff. You're pulling that phase, but you are. So the next step is I need to take off the original intercooler. We'll probably have to move the horns out of the way, and then we can connect the piping up. I'll grab the bumper to show you that it actually does fit over the top. I'll bolt it in properly, but yeah, you can't even tell that it's there unless you actually look from down here. So you're thinking of buying a new car, but you're thinking of saving some money, you're going to buy a car which is a few years old, and you've spotted an absolute steal on the market. You message the owner, you go and look at the car, everything looks great and fine. So you buy the car and you take it home, and a week later it starts making a knocking noise, and you don't know what this knocking noise is, so you take it to a garage, the mechanic looks at it and says, yeah, this has been in an accident, it's never going to drive the same. Before even looking at the car, head on over to Car Vertical, type in the number plate or the VIN number, and it will come up with every single thing there is to know about the car. It shows you the entire history, all the MOTs, if there's any data on there about it being in a crash, mileage as well, any cover-ups, anything like that, it will show on there. They provide pictures, evidence, everything like that. It's just so much better to check before actually going to view the car. Check out the link in the description, it gives you a discount on the purchase of a history check. And thank you to Car Vertical for sponsoring today's video. Thanks as well for the wicked jumper. I've also got some number plate holders which I'm going to be putting on my car, and I've got a few left over, so if anyone's interested in one of them and wants one, and also a hat as well, so that's pretty cool. So thanks Car Vertical, and let's carry on with this Golf. Apparently this is the pipework we need to get this intercooler connected. Alright, so for those who don't know or who need a little reminder, I'm doing all of this build on a budget. The challenge was to buy a car and modify it for £2,000. So I bought this car for £750, and I've used the rest of the money on performance modifications, and that included all of the maintenance bits that we did in the first episode: turbo, intercooler, injectors and piping. I've also got top mounts and coilovers to install for a future video. Today we're just focusing on this intercooler setup, which is why everything I've bought is secondhand, which is why it looks dirty and disgusting. I just think it needs a bit of a clean out before I install all of this. And there you go, that's the standard intercooler. Bit of a difference in size. So for this side, this pipe is essentially going to attach onto here and go up through the top into the intake manifold. That does fit up there. I'm not going to try and get it perfectly tight because I still need to take it off to clean all the pipes, but this side is fine. I'm going to see if for now we can just loosen up the horns, put them in a position where they're not going to rub. Okay, I'm going to have a little bit of a play around, figure some things out. Might need to do some cutting off this pipe because this seems like it's way too long at the moment.
One eternity later.
Alright, sweet. So, you saw me fit the intercooler with Georgette. That's kind of as subtle as I can get it. I'm going to paint these pipes black just to make the ricer chavvy look go away. I don't like it. I wanted everything to be completely hidden, but you know, it's okay. The pipe comes from down there up to here, and I ended up needing a new turbo intake pipe because the old one was actually for a Polo, which was shaped slightly different. So instead of pointing out this way to get the cone here, it was pointing kind of like down, and there was no room to do anything with it. So I had to buy a brand new Creation Motorsport tip, which I had the exact same problems as I had last time. I had to bend the coolant pipe out the way so that there was enough room, and you have to chop this side and the turbo side, so like there's literally just a lip to screw the Jubilee clamp on. I haven't got any hose clamps on anything here yet, just because like if it was going to work, but it works, so I'm going to try and squeeze it on as tight as possible. And I think it's time, finally. The Audi's here ready to jump start it. I have to give a massive thank you to TOPDON, because they've sent me a third product now. So they sent me the battery tester a while ago for the Audi when it was having starting problems. They sent me that. They sent me one of their jump start packs, which I've got in my Audi just in case. And they also sent me a like trickle charger or battery charger, which I had planned to link up to this battery and to like show the effects, show if it can actually work. But this battery is actually completely dead. That doesn't even work because the battery is so dead. So I'm going to try the old-fashioned method, jump start it with the Audi, and if this doesn't work, I'm going to have to buy a new battery. Hopefully I don't. I just want to actually start it. The plan is, because this engine hasn't been started in 4 or 5 months, I've pulled the fuel pump hose off so that I can crank it with jump. When it jumps from the Audi, I can crank it a few times, get the oil rolling, and hopefully the coolant and everything kind of being fed through to where it needs to go. I'll do that a few times and then I'll jump start it properly and see if it runs. I think everything is back connected to where it should be. All of the hoses here are connected, so we've got filter here, the MAF from the VR6, and then you've got the N75 valve, which is there. You got to be careful with which way you put the N75 valve in. I think it should be in the correct way. And then we've got the diverter valve in this one, and that hose comes all the way around here, and is actually connected up to this one, and then goes up into the intake manifold. Then you got the hockey pipe, is what people call it, which just comes down into here. That's a good place to install a catch can if you ever need to. What else have we got? I think there's one more hose down there, which is connected to the actuator on the turbo. And then I've just replaced this pipe with a red one that goes into the intake manifold. What else is there? Everything should be connected. It's a lot more simpler than the later 1.8 engines. Put the camera back on the tripod and we'll see if this starts. Before we go anyway, if you guys are excited to see this car start up and see what happens once it's started up, please drop a like. If you're enjoying this video, please drop a like. If you are watching this and you're not subscribed, then please go ahead and subscribe if you want. I'm not forcing you to. I want to know your opinions and stuff in the comments below as well, so let me know your thoughts on the car and the overall project. Sorry I haven't been uploading. Please don't roast me for having an absolutely terrible upload schedule. I'll talk to you guys at the end about that. So yeah, let's go. It's running and it's on. You can tell because the wheel's going spazzo.
I don't know where that smoke is coming from. Okay, here's what's cracking, here's what's going on. It starts and idles quite well actually. I think it's got enough battery charged up now. I just let it idle for a while. Kept checking the oil levels. I think the coolant needs topping up a bit. And that is what I want to talk about really quick. I think it has a coolant leak and that is what the smoking is. So it's reduced a lot now because I had to screw up one of the screws that I kind of forgot was even a thing. Over on this coolant flange, where the metal hard pipe is, the screw that you undo for the hard pipe to loosen it wasn't done back up. So I done that back up. I can't see any more leaks, but it's definitely leaking coolant from, I think it must just be one of the pipes from the turbo. Let's see if it will start back up. Ah, for f***'s sake, I've just put all the jump leads away. Okay, let's go again. It idles fine, although it's a little bit misfirey every now and then. And the smoke as well, it's smoking from the... started up fine, but then it has that. And then it slows down. I don't know, man. I don't know if it's just because it's got a new MAF sensor and it's got a new turbo and it's got a new intercooler that it's kind of freaking out a little bit. Because it's idling fine now, but in a second it won't idle fine, it'll be a bit up and down. There you go. It needs more coolant, that's what it needs. Let me do that real quick, that's why I turned the car off in the first place. It had a proper flutter. I don't know if you heard that at all. I don't actually think that is normal. But there's no smoke. Okay, let me just quickly explain what was actually going on in the end with the Golf, because I didn't really make it clear. So from what I can see, the car runs and idles fine. It started to smoke when I first started it, but then I realised that the metal pipe that I was talking about is also the same bolt which holds one of the coolant flanges in. So as I loosen this pipe, the coolant flange was also out, and I think the smoke was the coolant leaking out of that, running down the pipe and getting burnt off by the turbo, which is why it started smoking like crazy, and it stopped once I bolted it back in and the rest of that coolant had burnt off. And it seems to be fine. Like, there's no leaks on the floor, oil level is good, coolant level is good, it gets up to temperature and it's fine. That's pretty much all I can say until I get it mapped, so I'm kind of slightly worried about getting it mapped, or at least driving there as it is at the moment, but I'll just take it gentle, might even get it towed. But before I do, I'm still waiting on the downpipe to arrive. Alright, we'll go back to the other video now. Do you know what? We're actually going to end this on a positive. There is no more smoke, and it's getting up to temperature, it's staying at 90 degrees. Oil levels seem normal. I don't think there's any leaks underneath. There's no leaks underneath. There's no more smoke. It idles fine. Like, if you think about it, it's got a bigger MAF sensor, it's got a much bigger intercooler and a new turbo, so you'd expect it to run a little bit weird, but I don't know what this is going to be like. I'm going to take it, I'm going to message Chris at Tuning Technics. I'll either get it towed to him or I'll drive it to him, and then I'll swap over the injectors while I'm there, take it to Chris and just see what happens. And I want to see if I can get it to just flame, pop and bang like a proper nutty car. Even though we're keeping it looking standard, like the exhaust isn't exactly quiet, but it's not loud. I'm getting excited now, I need to calm down. I'm going to end the video. Thank you so much for watching. Please drop a like if you haven't already. If you're new around here and you haven't, subscribe. Turn notifications on because hopefully in time we'll be getting this mapped, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. See you later. Ladies and gents, if you're still here, welcome my to disgustingly messy room. Just ignore everything else and let's just talk for a second. So thank you for staying to the end. I know, I've saved this for the end because I know whoever's watching this isn't just going to skip. Put it at the end just because if there's anyone who actually genuinely wants to listen to what I'm about to say, then thanks. Thank you very much for all the support. I haven't uploaded in like 2 or 3 months. I'm not even going to go into it. I'll go into it in another video, but there's been some stuff going on. Just nothing serious. It's just things get in the way of me being able to post, and I just don't post because on the reality of it, if that's the right word, YouTube and uploading videos is probably one of my least important things now. It's always going to be a hobby and it always will be. I'll never stop posting, but I can't guarantee that I'm going to be posting every single week anymore. Not for a while anyway. I've seen all your comments for everyone who has ever commented while I've not been posting. I've read them all. There's been some funny ones, there's been some horrible ones, and there's been some really nice genuine ones. People asking me where I'm at, if I'm good, and they miss me uploading and things like that. I'm still here and I'm still going to be posting. Hopefully the next video on the Golf will be kind of soonish because I need to get it mapped. But the reason I didn't post for a long time is because alongside life I also had this new project, this golf that I had to do, and I'm still working full time, so I've only got 2 days a week to do everything else I want to do, and it just got to me and got to my head because it's quite a lot of pressure when you've got a company sponsoring you to create content on a car which I don't even know the history of really. It came with a little bit of history, but you know, there's always that dread of, is this car actually gonna run once I'm finished with it, or is it just gonna die on me and that is it, that's the end of the series. The car started, which is good, and it seems like hopefully we can at least get it mapped and at least just to see where we're at with it in terms of power. Yeah, so my whole point of me speaking to you now is just to say stick around because I will still be uploading, but I can't guarantee when I'm going to be uploading. I'll have a better understanding of what is going on in a few weeks. Well, my parents are specifically looking at moving, and I don't know what their plan is with that yet. That's pretty much it. Just making it sound like it's going to be some long ass conversation, but that was pretty much it. I just wanted to say thank you for sticking around. I'll give you a quick update on what is actually going on. Me and Lucy are good, Lucy's good. Duffy is sat right next to me, chilling in the sun. She's good. I managed to get my hands on a PS5, which took a long time to find one. And then my Xbox One decided to die. I got the PS5 just for the exclusives, but the Xbox was still like the OG, this is what I use for everything else. And it decided to die on me today for some reason. Went into a shop today to get that repaired, so I hopefully have that back next week. The Audi's good. I got some wind deflectors for it. I don't really know if I like it or not. I think I need to get my window tinted for them to be looking good. The Corrado is good. It's now sawn for 6 months, so that won't be on the road until next year. But while it's off the road, I need to replace the sunroof mechanism. I really want to start trying to learn to weld and things like that, just because I want to be able to do it myself. And I'm still working full time, still just cracking on at the moment. Just drains all my energy, and like when the weekend comes I just want to not do anything, which I really want to try and change that, because I've been in this cycle before and I had to get out of it. So I'm going to just see what's going on, see where I'm at, and I'll update you guys in the future in a few weeks when I know what's going on. Thank you again guys, and see you in the next one.